After 108 days, the missiles over the skies of West Asia may be falling silent, but the diplomatic battle is only beginning. So hours before the G7 summit takes center stage, US President Donald Trump has announced a US-Iran breakthrough in the war. The deal will now lead to the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. It will ease pressure on the global economy and will also reset the balance of power in West Asia. The world is cheering, markets are rallying, and oil prices are also falling. But the nuclear question remains unresolved. Israel still is on the sidelines, and the final signing is days away. So the question is simple. Has the war ended, or has a new chapter just begun? Is there going to be a twist in store? Srinjoy Chaudhary is with us. Srinjoy, a genuine peace deal, a real breakthrough, or simply a 60-day ceasefire with a different name? What do you think is happening right now?
It's certainly forward movement towards peace, but whether we will all reach there remains to be seen. There is one issue, Sagarika, which needs to be looked at. Why did Trump go to war? Because when he went to war, the Strait of Hormuz was open. He went to war primarily because of two things. One, regime change, and more importantly, the nuclear issue.
Right.
Now, Iran, it was widely said, and they have admitted, have 400 kilos plus of enriched uranium. Even Iranian ministers who were here have said that they deliberately enriched it to 60%. Now, what happens to that uranium? Fine, I understand the Hormuz. I understand the blockade being lifted. I understand even Lebanon. But these 400 plus kilos of enriched uranium, enriched to 60%, what happens? Does it stay with Iran after enrichment is brought down technically? Does it go to America?
Right.
Does it go to the IAEA? Is there a fourth possibility? This is the most crucial issue.
Yes.
That's why Trump went to war. He fought for 39 days.
Right.
Because Iran had 440 or 60 kilos of enriched uranium.
Right.
Now, regardless of where they are, many meters below the surface after that bombing, who has the uranium now?
Yes. And if the nuclear question is still unresolved, so what exactly has been resolved? Let's talk about what we know about this peace package. We have to make it clear that the details of the deal haven't been made official yet. But as per multiple reports, the peace package entails, number one, immediate ceasefire across all fronts, a 60-day truce which will enable talks, the Strait of Hormuz will reopen, US naval blockade will end, and the $12 billion Iranian assets will be freed. Nuclear negotiations, we're hearing, will follow, and sanctions relief is going to be linked to compliance of the deal. And the final signing of the deal is targeted for the 19th of June. With that, we have some breaking news coming in now, and this is a statement by Iran's Supreme National Security Council. So based on the agreement, Iran says the war and military operations on all fronts, including Lebanon, will end immediately and permanently starting tonight. Now, this is as per the statement that's coming in from Iran. And in addition, the naval blockade against Iran will end immediately and completely. So going across to Mayank. Mayank, we are seeing multiple statements coming out from Iran. Iran is projecting this as a victory and is saying that US was forced to come to this. US was forced to talk about this deal and agree to Iran's terms because of Iran's military capabilities. Now, yes, multiple questions remain. There are many sticking issues in this entire deal in itself. Then comes the Israel factor. Has Netanyahu been left out? And will this deal, stick out if Bibi is not on board? What do you think is going to happen if we look at the Israel factor right now?
Sagarika, you have brought out a very important point, actually, saying that it is Iran cannot be subdued militarily. That is the kind of a message which has come out, and they are sitting on the negotiating table at the equal terms, and terms are now being dictated by Iran at least. And amongst that, at least understand this is going to be the first document which is coming out in the form of memorandum of understanding, and it can become a stepping stone for the final deal which might take place on Friday. And that's what we are waiting for. But in between, a meeting has been sought by Prime Minister Netanyahu with Donald Trump, and that can easily be understood. It is about Lebanon.
Yes.
Because Iran has been quite clear right from the beginning, to the extent that they were ready to forego any kind of an agreement, which is ceasefire agreement also, on the issue of Lebanon. And herein also they have said it in so many words. And not only that, Pakistan has also come out saying that Lebanon is part of the deal. French president has also come out saying that they are ready to help as far as Lebanon is concerned.
Right.
So what you see is actually generally the message has gone forward that Lebanon is part of the deal. But herein what we see is actually, unless Israel has never made any or created any doubts as far as its operation in Lebanon is concerned.
Right.
They have continued bombing the areas in that location, which is southern Lebanon. So we will have to still wait and watch unless some kind of a deal is actually thrashed in or inked on Friday. Because
Absolutely.
it is just the beginning, initial part of the document, and it can turn out to be a stepping stone, Shagarika.
So Friday becomes extremely important. That is 19th of June. The breakthrough chapter, viewers, began with a series of extraordinary announcements that were made by US President Donald Trump. The US President declared that this deal with Iran had been reached, authorized the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, and announced the easing of the US naval blockade. So in his characteristic style, Donald Trump declared, "Let the oil flow," and presented this particular breakthrough as a major diplomatic achievement. So while the final text, like we've been telling you, has not been officially released, reports from multiple sources are suggesting a broad framework is now in place. This understanding includes an immediate cessation of hostilities, the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, the phased removal of the US naval blockade, and a 60-day negotiation window to address outstanding disputes. Now, Pakistan, which is projecting itself as a mediator in the entire matter, also says that the formal signing ceremony is expected on the 19th of June in Switzerland. Qatar has also played a key role in facilitating, back-channel diplomacy. But Tehran's version of events is strikingly different. How? Because Iran is not presenting this as a triumph of Donald Trump. Instead, Iranian officials are claiming that the United States was forced to come to the table after failing to achieve its objectives on the battlefield. The Deputy Foreign Minister of Iran has said that the agreement is a result of Iran's military achievements and the sacrifices of those killed in the conflict. Iran has also made it clear that the implementation will depend on Washington first, fulfilling its commitments, including the release of frozen Iranian assets. Now, Tehran's message is simple. This is not a concession. This is a victory, and this is a victory for Iran. So let's tell you about the two versions that are now coming to the fore. What has Donald Trump said? Donald Trump said that the peace deal is complete. Tehran is now saying this is only an MOU for now. Donald Trump says that that peace has been achieved finally. Tehran is saying that talks will start after US acts on its commitment. So that is why the 60-day window becomes important. Washington is claiming that this is a huge breakthrough. Tehran is saying, ensure that you live up to your commitment. So a peace deal or a peace framework, are the words changing? Let's go across once again to Srinjoy Chaudhary, who stays with us. Srinjoy, with the narrative that's coming out from Iran, they are saying that this is an MOU. This is a framework, and everything depends on if US will live up to its commitments. There are also reports that are suggesting that Lebanon and the sovereignty of Lebanon was added in the last moment because Iran refused to go through if Lebanon is not included. How do you look at the unresolved issues over the next 60 days? What are the challenges that both sides will have to face?
What has happened today is a step forward, or several steps forward. You spoke about Lebanon. Now, what is the problem in Lebanon? Let's explain. Let's work this out. First, the Hezbollah, who are allies of the Iranians, are firmly entrenched there. They've been fighting the Israelis for a while. Now, the Hezbollahs have a very strong rocket force, they have drones, armed drones, and they've been hitting northern Israel for a considerable while. Now, in retaliation, the Israelis have been hitting back. Now, when they hit South Lebanon, the Hezbollah leaders go northwards towards Beirut, which is why there have been attacks on Beirut, and there have been substantial civilian casualties as a result. Now, this is a huge problem. Now, the Lebanese government can't really do very much about it.
Right.
Let's be honest. So if that is the case, then something had to be done. And President Trump had spoken with Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, and he had spoken or asked the Hezbollah not to fight.
Right.
Now, here is an American president who is telling the Hezbollah not to fight. Now, all this has already happened, and only then were these lines about Lebanon added.
All right.
But now that it has, now that it's there, now it's subject to negotiation. You have to talk all of this out.
All right.
But at least it's a move forward. It's a way towards peace.
Right. It's a way towards peace.